You guys are watching the Cowboys Report. I am your host, Tom Downey. You can follow me on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney, and feel free to tweet me because we're all angry right now around Jason Garrett and the Dallas Cowboys. So there are some news items and some rumors we'll dive into here on today's show. We begin with the lack of an update from the Jason Garrett and the Dallas Cowboys here. The Cowboys have yet to announce their decision, and I don't really understand the real why. I know there's some reasons, but it's silly. Now, Garrett's kind of expires on January 14th. There's some confusion out there about January 14th or Wednesday, but it's 3 years after the season ends or January 14th. Cowboy season's over, so it's going to be on the 14th there in the end. Everybody knows what's coming. Even the Cowboys media is like, yeah, it's just a matter of when, not if. The move is going to happen. What I suspect is going on right now with the Cowboys, and remember, earlier today, they said, hey, meeting's going to come in at noon, and then they'll make the decision after that. They'll meet with Garrett first. The Cowboys were letting Garrett do all of his exit interviews, and players were describing that as, you know what, he didn't say goodbye, but it felt like a goodbye. Like he knows what's coming, and he's letting everybody go. Garrett did not finish those today. You got 60 players, 70 players you got to meet with. They didn't get to it all in the end. I think the Cowboys are trying to do right by Jason Garrett and saying, yeah, do your exit interviews, then we'll announce anything. Here's the thing, though. That's stupid. Look, Garrett, whatever. I like the guy's person. I think I do. He's not the priority anymore. You should, if you as a franchise, as much as you might like Jason Garrett, you got to move on from him. He is not your focal point anymore. You give him the short end of the stick? Oh, no, you gave him 10 years. I saw someone on Twitter trying to make the argument, I think it was Albert Breer, that, well, how would it look to a new head coach if you made the move to fire Garrett already? I don't know. Not that bad because you gave him 9.5 years as the head coach? Like, what you do in terms of when you dismiss and don't retain Garrett doesn't impact you. So react to Dallas not making this Garrett move yet. I see why. I see crap. Bucks getting blurred out, but that's an option as well. It's just stupid. And you know what? This is cheating. It's short-sighted. That's what this is here for the Dallas Cowboys. Now, once the Cowboys make the decision here to move on officially from Jason Garrett, we're going to keep you updated. We will have all the latest news, all of the rumors, coaching candidates, everything. I promise you guys this. Nobody out there is going to keep you more updated and more in-depth analysis on this head coaching search than we will here at the Cowboys Report. So if it's your first time watching, go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you have notifications turned on. I promise you, we will keep you updated on the Cowboys coaching search, especially once they eventually make the move around Jason Garrett. Let's talk draft here for the Dallas Cowboys. They have the number 17 overall pick in the 2020 NFL Draft. Top 20 order has been finalized. For those of you wondering, for those of you on Team Tank, had you lost against the Redskins, which you were trying to win because the Eagles were still kind of around there for a little bit, you would have been drafting number 12. So you cost yourself 5 picks. Bright side is you have a better schedule next year because the Eagles still won the division. You're still in the top 20. I've gone through a bunch of different scenarios. Mock draft coming out on Wednesday on our main channel. By the way, we'll repost it here on the Cowboys Report as well later on. You will be able to get an impact player. But the Raiders, for those of you that want CeeDee Lamb, I don't think he gets past the Raiders or the Denver Broncos, by the way. The Colts have some interior and just defensive line needs in general. The Bucs have all kinds of issues, edge among them. Denver has cornerback needs and receiver needs. I think Denver might go receiver. But the Falcons, you are one pick behind them. A guy like A.J. Epinesa, if a guy like Christian Fulton is on the board, you might not get him. So I think you will end up missing out on a player or two you would have really liked to have gotten. Christian Fulton is the one man that comes to me pretty quickly there. But at 17, you will have players. So who do you guys want in round 1? I'm sure we have names in there. I see CeeDee Lamb in there. Don't get your heads up there. No hopes up there. Don't think you're going to have a whole lot of success there. So let me know who you guys want in round 1. By the way, I told you guys to subscribe earlier. Stay tuned. We will have early looks at the first-round pick. I see Trevon Diggs in there, CeeDee Lamb, Grant Delpit, Javon Kinlaw. Maybe you'll see those guys, A, on our mock drafts, and B, in some early first-round targets. Didn't have one last year. Good to be back in round one for the Dallas Cowboys. Several of you pointed this out in the comments section as well. Kris Richard will have an interview with the New York Giants. This actually doesn't really surprise me. It makes some sense here for the Giants in the end because, A, I think New York wants to move quickly. Richard is available, as we'll get more in depth in here in just a second. Now, he's not the front runner for this job. The Giants really want Matt Rule, and for good reason. But if you interview Richard, I think Thursdays they end up doing this here, as some of you pointed out in the comments section, this does satisfy the Rooney Rule. And you get a little bit of insight here on the Cowboys and their organization, what they try to do. There's nothing wrong ever with interviewing a division rival coach. I think that can help you out there in the end. Richard, a candidate for the Giants job. I don't think he ends up getting that job in the end. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120. It gets you a 120% deposit bonus. So you put down $50, boom, extra 60 coming your way for free. Maybe you bet on the Cowboys to beat the Redskins, cover the spread. You won that one pretty big. It's chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120. Now let's talk about the coaching staff. We mentioned Kris Richard, his uncertainty. There was the report of the entire staff being let go. Clearly, that's not correct. So what could happen this offseason? Kellen Moore, Kitna, Sanjay Law, I believe are all under contract beyond this season. Gary Brown, I believe he is in the last year of his deal. Doug Nussmeier, also in the last year of his contract. Mark Colombo also has been re-upped beyond just this year. Keith O'Quinn, I don't know what his status is. Doesn't matter. He can get the fuck out of here. He's horrible. I don't want Keith O'Quinn anywhere near this team ever again. You got other assistants some of you might have heard of. Andre Garrard, Kyle Valero, Stephen Brown. If you're an assistant and not even a full-time position coach, you're probably not going to hang around the Cowboys unless you're a somewhat notable name like Andre Garrard, because people have heard of him before. Defensively, and I have been a little bit of conflicting reports here, but I believe that everyone on this list, Kris Richard, Rod Marinelli, Ben Bloom, Greg Jackson, and Leon Lett, I believe all of them are having their contracts expire at the end of the year. So you might not bring back anybody from this Cowboys coaching staff, at least on the defensive and coaching side of the football. So that's an interesting option and path there for the Dallas Cowboys. From what we saw this year on defense, I'm very much open to totally blowing it up on the defensive staff and figuring out something else on that side of the ball going forward. All right, we promised you guys some rumors here beyond just the angriness about the Cowboys and Jason Garrett's non-decision status here. What about trading for Mike Zimmer? This one's been floated out there as well. I give it 1 star. I think Zimmer makes some sense for the Cowboys, but I don't know if that's the route we're going to go here in terms of trading for Mike Zimmer. Just the 1 star. I don't think it even makes the most sense for the Cowboys. Do you want to give up a pick for Zimmer? I'd probably do it for Sean Payton. I don't know if I'd do it for Zimmer. Now, he does make some sense, and if the Vikings lose, he might be available for free. If Minnesota wants to make that surprise head coaching move, maybe they want to, promote their offense coordinator, Kevin Stefanski. Was a Cowboys assistant, DC for a long time. All right. Only under contract through 2020. I don't like the idea of trading for him, but if it's just in general for Zimmer, I'd probably bump this up to 2 stars. I think he would be a candidate if he ends up truly being available. Now, Zimmer's last 5 years are pretty good. 10-6, 7. That great 13-3 year. They went 1-1 in the postseason. 8-8, 11-5. The interesting part for Minnesota is that the lack of consistency at quarterback. And that's probably one of your major differences between the Mike Zimmer-led Vikings and the Jason Garrett-led Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys, for the most part, have had 2. Minnesota's gone through a couple of them. My biggest concern here is that when you look overall at what these 2 coaches have done, and you look back from, okay, you're trying to find an upgrade over Jason Garrett, you should be able to find one, but not necessarily a sure thing. But their resumes aren't that dissimilar. Now, the win percentage in favor of Mike Zimmer, he's made the playoffs more often. Maybe he drops to 1-3, maybe he goes 2-3, but they're probably not going to make a deep run in fewer years. So I believe that Mike Zimmer is an upgrade over Jason Garrett. What draft pick value do you assign to him? And for those of you that want to leave behind the days of 3 yards in a cloud of dust, Mike Zimmer is a run game truther. That's a little bit of a red flag. So there are some similarities, but Zimmer has the experience. If you don't want to gamble with a college coach, I think Zimmer would be a good fit for the Dallas Cowboys, but I would not trade for one. If he becomes available for free, I'm down with that. Type Y for yes, N for no, if you would trade for Mike Zimmer. Troy's asking for a third rounder. I'm not doing that. I want that third round pick. I got 2/5. Maybe you can talk me into that, but I don't feel the need to trade for a coach. I think you can get an equally good one without costing yourself a draft pick as well. Let's move on now to Jason Witten as the Cowboys head coach. I tweeted this out earlier. It's a pretty popular tweet. If you want Jason Witten as head coach, I will block you. Because this is stupid. I would rather have Jason Garrett than Jason Witten. And it's not even close. I'm giving this fake news because why would I want Witten as head coach? What does Jason Witten bring that you actually want in your head coach? There's nothing. Like, ESPN, and maybe it's Witten's buddies trying to help him out, have said, hey, you should hire Jason Garrett or Jason Witten. Why the fuck would you do that? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. He's never been a coach. Why on earth would you want to hire somebody who's never once been a coach at any level and say, geez, we got one of the best jobs in all football, let's hire him? That's a horrible idea. That's such a horrible idea. Now, if you want to bring in Jason Witten as your tight ends coach, well, that I'm on board with. I like that idea. This is not the NBA or the MLB. You don't just hire the guy who was a good player to be your head coach. That's a really bad idea. So speaking of that, because I already see a bunch of them in the comments section here, trigger me if you so choose by putting your bad head coach ideas in the comments section. Romo, bad idea. Never been a coach before. I am sorry, guys. Jimmy Johnson, bad idea. Let's see what else we have in here flowing in. Troy Aikman, bad idea. Maybe draft Jalen Hurts, bad. Mac Brown, okay, that's a great bad idea. There you go. Michael Irvin, also great bad idea. I would make a great head coach. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Freddie Kitchens, that's a great one too. Brett Maher, that's a good one. Tim Tebow, Dez Bryant. Dez didn't want to be a coach. He was kidding, but I thought it was pretty funny. Tom Coughlin, that's a great bad one too. Someone saying Matt Rule is DC. I'll just make this quick little rant here. Guys, Matt Rule is not coming to the NFL to be a defensive coordinator. You're not getting a Power 5 head coach in most cases to be a coordinator. You would go up with there. Herm Edwards, also a bad idea. There we go. I like that. It's a good one. All right, folks. As a reminder, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Head over to chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. You put down $50, extra $60 coming your way for free. Only on chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120 for a 120% deposit bonus. All right, last room here, then I'm sure we'll do some more Q&A stuff. How about a Sean Lee return? I'm going to put this at 2 stars, mostly because I don't think Sean Lee knows what he wants to do. He's going to turn 34, but he is coming off a fully healthy season. He played this year. A couple of missed practices, but he was fine. Lee says he's going to make his decision later in March. Now, he kind of willingly took that pay cut this year. I want him back at a cheaper rate next year. And I think if you're the Cowboys, he can probably play some hardball there in terms of getting Lee to take less than maybe he'd be worth out on the open market because he's meant so much to your organization and he's been here for so long. Now, Jerry Jones wants him to return and play again. And with what we saw this year, I'm down. I don't want to pay him a bunch of money, but he played fairly well this year. Now, he was a little bit inconsistent. He certainly had some up and down games, but I think that Sean Lee provides you expertise, he provides you veteran leadership, and you got some question marks this offseason at linebacker. You got a bunch of free agents. Sean Lee is one of them. Malcolm Smith, Justin March, Joe Thomas, Ray Armstrong, and they signed Smith and Ray before the year ended. You got some question marks at depth there, and you got to worry about Leighton Vander Esch's neck. I would bring back Sean Lee if the price is right. I think you can find some good depth at linebacker. I'd probably end up re-signing Joe Thomas as well. But I think Lee should be back for the Cowboys. The question is, and I've seen some of you mention that, maybe you make him a coach. Down the road, I think you're going to see Sean Lee as a coach for the Dallas Cowboys. And you do it like you should do with Witten, right? You start him as a position coach, or even as an assistant to the position coach. You see, at some point, you make him into your linebackers coach, and you see how he develops. So much uncertainty and new elements you have to learn as a coach versus just being a pure player. I say you play him in 2020, but down the road, you better believe he's going to be a coach at some level, I think, for the Dallas Cowboys. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.